You say you have no friends, and you think that means you are broken. But tell me, is the mountain broken because it stands alone? Is the eagle weak because it flies without a flock? The world teaches you that loneliness is a curse, but the Stoics knew it as a calling. To be apart is not to be abandoned. It is to be prepared. For solitude is where the soul sharpens its reason, where the mind learns to walk without crutches, where peace no longer depends on the crowd. So if you find yourself without friends, do not despair. The lack of company may mean the gods are training you for strength. The kind of strength that no praise, no approval, no betrayal can ever touch. Stand tall in your silence, and you will discover that solitude was never emptiness. It was a beginning of wisdom. Sit, my friend. Set down your burdens and listen without haste. You tell me you are lonely, that you have few friends, perhaps none at all. You imagine this a curse, a proof that something within you is broken or unworthy. But listen carefully. The lack of friends does not always mean misfortune. Sometimes it is the first glimpse of freedom. Sometimes it is a silence in which wisdom begins to speak. You've been taught by the world that a full life requires company, that your worth is reflected in how many hands you shake, how many people call your name. Yet the Stoic knows that the crowd often confuses noise for companionship and flattery for friendship. The wise man seeks not the many, but the true, not the loud, but the good, not presence, but depth. When the crowd departs and you find yourself alone, do not grieve too quickly. Ask instead, what kind of man have I become that solitude has come to visit me? For solitude is not the enemy of the virtuous. It is their companion, their teacher, their mirror, the crowd and its illusions. In the marketplace, men jostle shoulder to shoulder, their laughter loud and their hearts hollow. They call one another friend, as merchants do when haggling, for profit, not affection. You may walk among them and feel surrounded, but not supported. You may hear 100 voices, and yet find not one that listens. Such company is not friendship. It is distraction. The Stoics have long warned of the crowd. Seneca wrote, "Associate with those who make you better, and welcome those who can make better." The process is mutual, for men learn while they teach. The crowd does neither. It entertains, but does not elevate. It consumes, but does not build. When you find yourself apart from the crowd, understand that you may have been spared rather than abandoned. For the man who seeks wisdom must often stand alone, as the traveler leaves the noise of the city to hear the whisper of the forest. The crowd cannot teach you peace, for it does not know peace. The crowd fears silence, for silence reveals the truth of itself. Solitude as a test of the soul. The man who cannot bear to be alone has not yet met himself. He runs from solitude because he fears the sound of his own thoughts. He seeks company as a shield against reflection. But the Stoic welcomes solitude as a physician welcomes stillness. For only in stillness can he examine the wounds of the soul. Ask yourself, when you are alone, do you suffer from solitude or from yourself? If your company is unpleasant to you, how shall it be pleasant to others? To lack friends may sometimes mean that life is giving you space to become one. To yourself first, and then to others. Epictetus taught that no man is alone who is accompanied by right reason. Sit quietly, breathe, and listen to that reason within. It is a divine companion. The Logos, the spark of universal wisdom that dwells in every rational being. If you befriend it, you will never be truly friendless. Why the wise man needs few friends. The wise man does not count his friends by number, but by quality. Friendship is a sacred bond, a joining of two souls in the pursuit of virtue. Such unions are rare. Most people love for advantage, for pleasure, for convenience. But Stoic friendship is different. It is based on shared commitment to reason and goodness. Seneca said, "He who is his own friend, and who is worthy of himself, will have others who are worthy of him." The unwise collect acquaintances like coins, glittering but empty of value. The wise collect hearts, few but genuine. Therefore, if you have lost friends because you have chosen truth over vanity, discipline over indulgence, honesty over flattery, rejoice rather than mourn. You have not lost friends, but impostors. The road to virtue is narrow and few walk it. To be alone upon it is not shame, but proof that you have chosen rightly. Loneliness and the illusion of lack. When the night is long and no voice answers yours, you may think yourself abandoned. Yet is not the moon alone in the heavens, and does it not shine still? Loneliness, properly understood, is not the absence of company, but the yearning for it. And yearning arises from a false belief, the belief that we are incomplete without others. But the Stoic knows that each rational being contains within himself all that is necessary for a good life. The good life depends on virtue, not on circumstance, on inner order, not outer approval. Friends may adorn your path, but they cannot walk it for you. To lack friends, then, does not mean you lack happiness. It means only that you have been invited to discover a deeper form of companionship, that which you hold with your own soul and with the reason that governs the universe. When friendship is tested by truth, many friendships perish not by betrayal, but by honesty. You speak truth, and others, who prefer comfort, turn away. You refuse to join them in their vices, and they call you proud. You stand firm in virtue, and they whisper that you are cold. So be it. The Stoic does not adjust his compass to win approval. He follows the North Star of reason. When men drift from you because of this, do not curse them. They are not your enemies. They are simply travelers on another road. One day, they may see what you have seen. Until then, wish them well and continue your journey. A friend who cannot endure your growth was never your companion, only your mirror, reflecting what he wished to see. The loss of such a friend is no loss at all. The lack of false company makes room for true friendship when fate sees fit to send it. The Stoic understanding of true friendship, as the Stoics conceived it, is a union of two souls in virtue. It is rare because virtue itself is rare. In such friendship, neither uses the other. Both serve the good. Each strengthens the other's reason, as iron sharpens iron. Seneca wrote, "A friend is another self." He meant not another body to amuse you, but another soul that shares your pursuit of wisdom. To be such a friend, you must first become your own. Only he who loves himself rightly, not for pleasure, not for vanity, but for virtue, can love another rightly. Therefore, do not rush to fill your solitude with shallow ties. Prepare your soul. Become the kind of person who can offer peace, understanding, and strength. Then, when a true friend appears, your meeting will not be by need, but by recognition. The danger of needy companionship. Beware the friendship born of loneliness, for it is built upon need, not virtue. The needy friend clings, demands, fears abandonment. He does not love you for who you are, but for the comfort you bring. When comfort fades, so does his affection. The Stoic loves freely, without need. He shares company gladly, but remains self-sufficient. He says to his friend, "I welcome you, but I do not depend on you." Such love is pure, because it is grounded in choice, not necessity. If you find yourself surrounded by few, it may mean that life is teaching you this lesson, to stand on your own feet, to find peace in your own thoughts, to love without attachment. This is strength. To depend on others for happiness is slavery. To enjoy them without dependence is freedom. The solitary path of the philosopher. All great thinkers, all seekers of truth, have walked at times in solitude. Socrates stood apart from the crowd, misunderstood yet unwavering. Epictetus lived as a slave, yet his mind was freer than his master's. Marcus Aurelius ruled an empire, yet often wrote to himself in loneliness, for he found few who understood his heart. Do not imagine that solitude is a sign of failure. It is often a companion of those who strive for excellence. The world rewards conformity. The philosopher seeks integrity. When you rise above common habits, the common will drift away from you. Do not follow them downward out of fear of being alone. The eagle flies alone. Only crows flock together. The lack of friends may thus be a sign that you have begun to live according to your own nature, not the expectations of others. Accept this with gratitude, not grief. How to transform solitude into strength. If fate has given you few companions, then let that be your discipline. Use the time others waste in chatter for reflection, study, and inner cultivation. Turn your solitude into a sanctuary of learning. Read the wisdom of the ancients. Write your thoughts. Walk and observe the world. Commune with nature. Remember, solitude is not emptiness, but space, the space in which the soul grows. When the mind becomes still, insights arise that noise had long buried. In solitude, you discover your principles, your direction, your peace. Then, when others come, you bring richness to their company instead of begging for it. The universe as your companion. The Stoic never feels alone, for he knows he lives within the body of nature, a vast organism of which he is a part. The same breath that moves through you moves through all things. The stars, the rivers, the trees, all share the same logos. How can you be alone when you are woven into the same fabric as the cosmos itself? Marcus Aurelius said, "Constantly regard the universe as one living being, having one substance and one soul, and observe how all things refer to one perception, the perception of this one living being." Thus, when human company departs, turn your gaze upward. The heavens remain. The sun rises each day for you as it does for kings. The wind speaks to you as to philosophers of old. You are surrounded by divine companions. If only you learn to listen when friendship returns. Do not despair. Solitude is not forever. When you have learned to be content alone, then you are ready for true friendship. For only the self-sufficient can love without demand. When such a person appears, you will know him not by flattery, but by peace. His presence will not excite, but calm. His words will not entertain, but nourish. Together you will speak little of others and much of virtue. You will remind each other of truth when one forgets, and bear each other's faults with patience. That friendship will not depend on time, distance, or circumstance, for it is built upon reason, and reason is eternal. If you never find such a friend, and if in this life you never find such a soul, then rejoice still. For the friendship of reason, of nature, of virtue, these are enough. You walk with the gods when you walk in wisdom. Seneca said, "If you live according to nature, you will never be poor. If according to opinion, you will never be rich." The same is true of friendship. If you measure by virtue, you are never lacking. If by popularity, you are never satisfied. You were not born to please a multitude, but to perfect your soul. If solitude is required for this perfection, embrace it as the athlete embraces training, as the sculptor embraces the empty marble before creation, the meaning of the lack of friends. And so, my friend, when you find yourself alone, remember, the lack of friends means not rejection, but redirection. It means life is guiding you inward, where your truest companion waits. Your reason, your virtue, your peace. It may mean that you have risen beyond the shallow desires that bind others. It may mean that your integrity has cost you company, a small price for freedom. It may mean that you are being purified, prepared for friendships worthy of the soul you are becoming. The lack of friends does not mean the absence of love. It means you are learning to love more wisely, more deeply, and beginning with yourself. Final meditation. Sit again in silence. Let the loneliness you once feared now feel like quiet air filling your lungs. You are not empty. You are whole. The noise has left, and in its place remains a steady hum of reason. The presence of the divine within you. One day, others will come. Perhaps few, perhaps none. It matters little. For you have learned the greatest Stoic lesson of all, that peace depends on the order of your soul, not the number of your companions. So live rightly, whether among men or apart from them. Let your virtue be your friend, your mind your company, your conscience your comfort. In doing so, you will discover that you were never alone. You are simply learning to stand with the universe itself. And when you can stand so, calm, content, complete, you will have all the friendship the wise could ever desire.